Mississippi, and welcome to the free-range human show of choice. Your daily dose of reality radio starts now. I am your host, Clay Edwards, and this is the Clay Edwards Show. We are broadcasting live inside the Generator Power Solutions studio, and I've got a special guest this morning, man. Somebody I have been following online for a while, as well as listening to him as a guest on another show, and we finally were able to get our schedules together. We've got a great show planned for you guys today. I'm really excited about this. We're gonna ignore all the negativity around us today. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Jackson, as there always is. We're gonna mute that for a minute, for about 56 minutes actually. And I'm gonna introduce you guys to my friend Anson Walker with the Walker Lifestyle. Anson is a personal trainer, a life coach, and just a all-around great human being. I'm gonna turn his mic on and let him go and introduce himself. Anson, introduce yourself, my friend.
Well, Clay, I appreciate you having me this morning, man, and it's good to be here. It's good to be alive. We got a lot of good things happening at the gym with people, with changing their mental health, their physical health. And but y'all, I'm Anson Walker. I'm from Canton, Mississippi. I went to Canton Academy. I went to Holmes and Goodman. I played football, baseball through college. Graduated from Millsaps. I got my MBA at Delta State, and my younger brother was in school playing football there. A bunch of people from Canton were at the time. Love the Delta. I love visiting the Delta. I don't like living there. And but anyway, it was a great experience. Still got a lot of close friends in the Delta. And then after college, after grad school, I became an investment broker. Hated it. Ended up going to the military at a later age. And that gave me a lot of structure and discipline in my life. I lived out in Southern California for 7.5 years. I've been around the world, everywhere from Singapore to Darwin, Australia, to Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia. You have not seen poor until you've seen Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines. Those people are truly, truly poor. Those are third world countries. We have no concept of that.
What branch of the military were you in?
Navy.
Navy, nice.
Yeah. So, anyway, that gave me a new appreciation for being an American, for wearing that uniform. Got back, became a lot of collateral duties in the military. One of my collateral duties was being a naval fitness officer, and that's where I fell in love with training. Athletics has always been a part of my life, but when I figured out I could teach it, and then I could get that light bulb to go off in people's heads, and if they were going to get kicked out of the military if they didn't pass their PRT test, and I kept them in the military, that's something that you couldn't put a price on. So I got in love with training, fell in love with nutrition, and eating clean's not hard. It's just boring, and it's not rocket science, but it's stuff that we don't learn this stuff in college or even high school, and we should.
The hardest part for me is explaining to myself that every meal I eat doesn't have to be the best meal I've ever had.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And it's like once you get into about 28, 30 days of boring eating, it becomes normal.
Yeah, it does. And it actually, you can make it boring, and you can actually make it taste good with some seasoning and stuff that's not going to hurt you, your stomach. And it actually kind of becomes fun. And then Clay, and you probably know this too, I've gotten to the point now that I had a dirty meal Christmas, I had some dessert and all that stuff, but man, about 3 or 4 hours later, I had a food hangover. And it's just, I don't like food hangovers. To me, they're worse than alcohol hangovers.
The meat sweats.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, and I'm still learning. Man, I ain't got it all figured out by a long shot, but it's fun. Came back from California. I missed my family. My parents were getting older, and I missed the birth of my 2 nieces. So I ended up coming back to Mississippi, took a sales director job at Anatomies, which is an incredible gym in West Hattiesburg. I was there for 5 years. A guy named George Taylor owned it. He was my mentor. He was a good friend of mine. He taught me so much about the gym business, the people business, about your word is your honor, your word's your bond, stuff that my dad taught me. But shoot people straight, man. And if you don't know, I don't know. That's the answer. It works. It really does. And fell in love with it. Then I decided to build my own gym, and I built it just actually about 5 miles from here at Livingston. It lasted for about 2 years. And then I had an accident. I was in a lock-on climb stand. This was I want to say December 2017. And brand new strap, man, and it broke, and I fell 30 feet upside down, and I landed on my neck and knocked myself out. I broke my back, I broke my ribs, I broke my tailbone. And long story short, I limped out of there, drove myself to the house. My brother.
How long ago was this?
This would have been December 2017. So
it ain't been that long.
No. And it's one of those things it's almost like a dream because you got a concussion and you're thinking I'm just in a bad dream, but it actually happened. I spent 8 days at UMC. Long story short, I made a comeback mentally. I made a comeback physically. I lost my gym. I failed in business from that aspect of it. But I had a lot of what I call come to Jesus meetings with myself. I had to stare that man in the mirror and face some of those demons that we all have. And I think that's kind of when the Walker lifestyle probably took off. And I asked my friend Lee Soller for a job at Starke. He said, yeah, come on. I've known Lee for 20 years. And I took over. I became the training director there after about 1.5 years, 2 years. And my first year, I was basically training with a broken back. I just wore baggy clothes and nobody could tell. And it took me 18 months before I quit hurting. I had torn ligaments in my hips as well. And it's stuff you just have to fight through it. You got to play hurt. And I talk about that a lot in some of my radio segments.
Resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think a lot of times we realize the gifts that God gives us until we're put in an environment that kind of brings it out of us. And that's what happened with me. And then Jake, we got a hold of each other 2.5, 3 years ago. I came in, did a nutrition segment, a fitness segment one time, and dude, he got a lot of text on that.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Okay.
I was listening to that first show.
I'll be dang, and I can't believe that was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I just had my shoulder surgery. I remember texting in and asking about being able to get back in the gym right after having a torn rotator cuff.
Right.
And I was still in a immobilizer.
Yeah.
But, and you were like, yeah, you can do it. Don't listen to what the doctors say. You can get in quicker.
Well, they're the doctors and their defenses, and then the physical therapists. They're covering their ASS's is
Sure.
what they're doing. It's a SOP. It's a standard operating procedure. They never want to go outside that because of risk, and I get it, but you got to do a lot of things outside the box, and I try to do that with my training. And then the Walker lifestyle just kind of took off. And then a few months ago, me and my brother and a good friend of ours, my brother's Matt Walker, he coaches and teaches at MRA, and then George Adams is the head strength coach for MRA for all athletics. We formed a nutrition company called Walker's Eternal Nutrition. It's my S Corp, and we're going to launch that a week from yesterday. So we get everything in. I'm excited about that.
Now, this is your supplement company,
yes,
correct?
Exactly.
I've been seeing you teasing this online.
Yes,
and stuff for a while.
Well,
now.
and now we know we've got a shipping date, and we've got everything coming in, and we've got an awesome isolate protein, which is a lean protein. It's got 25 grams of protein per serving, one carb. It doesn't get any cleaner than that, Clay.
No.
And then we got for our athletes, for our high school and our college athletes that are trying to put on weight, we've got an awesome high carb, high protein mix, and then we got some BCAAs coming out, biochain amino acids. And what that is everybody says I'm hydrated, I drink my water. Well, yeah and no. Okay, water doesn't have electrolytes. Okay, water doesn't have B6, B12, salt, potassium. BCAAs do. And so you get the best of both worlds. Yeah, we need our water, but you also need electrolytes so you don't cramp.
Yeah, when I was in the gym religiously, it was a holy trinity cocktail of amino acids and protein and
absolutely
pre-workouts and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you stand on, since we brought it up, I wasn't even planning on going down this road, but speaking of pre-workouts, is there a real reason why somebody should or shouldn't take a stimulant versus a stimulant-free?
Here's the deal, and this is the way I feel. A stimulant, sometimes you can feel a little twitch. It's usually the niacin talking to you. Yep. Makes the skin kind of flutter.
Rush,
there you go. If you think it works mentally, it probably works.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you're not into it, and dude, I'm both. Sometimes if my rear end's dragging and I'm on 4 hours of sleep like I am right now, dude, and I got to go back here, change and work out here in just a little while, I'm going to take a pre-workout because I got to get up off the porch. I got to get something. And it's going to help me, and it's going to, on some caffeine and that kind of stuff. But it's kind of just, you got to listen to your body and if your mind, but it's like anything else, man. If you think it's working, it's probably working.
Yeah, so. Good stuff. I know my face starts itching. I'm like, all right, it's time. Let's go, right. Baby. I missed it. I'm so ready to get back in the gym. I got a big shop now, and there's a lot of, I wrote it down somewhere around here the other day, is so stretched for time between radio show, work, show prep, family time, sleep, rinse, repeat.
Yep.
It's like, where can I get gym time in at? So I was like, I don't know that I can go join one. So I went and bought a big heavy bag, and I stand the other day. I got my treadmill, got my home stuff, and I moved it to the shop yesterday. And I'm going to start just when I get through working. I'm going to step right over here.
Right.
And I'm going to get 45 to an hour in every day. And it's 2022 is not the year of I can't. It's the year of how can I.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm tired of saying I can't.
Yeah.
I'm just going to how can I and make it work.
Clay, what people don't realize, too, is when I mention the word gym or workout nutrition, they think, oh, heck, here, man, if I could tell you, if you could make yourself do it for 90 days mentally, it's the best therapy you can get on planet Earth. That is my shrink.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
if you're dealing with depression or any issues, I will just call it depression, a big umbrella there. Working out will be the best drug you could possibly take.
Absolutely, and I deal a lot with that because I got a lot of clients over the years with anxiety and depression. Man, that's real, and I used to didn't believe in it.
Self-confidence issues will cause depression.
Yeah, absolutely, and dude, I've dealt with that stuff, and I'm talking serious. And when I lost my gym, God, I was in a funk, and I had to get myself out of it. And y'all, anybody that's listening right now, anxiety and depression cannot exist with sunshine and with movement. You have to move. You have to get out of that your room, okay? It cannot exist. And I've read this in medical journals. The best thing you can do is move your butt, okay, and then get some sunshine and then get outside. And if you do that, you're going to win and you're going to beat it.
Yep. All right, look, we're going to take a break real quick.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to talk about, man, I got a million things I want to talk about. I'm not even going to tease them. We're just going to jump straight into them on the other side of this break. You're listening to The Clay Edwards Show. I'm joined by Anson Walker, and we'll be right back on 103. We are live here in the Generator Power Solutions studio, and this segment's going to be brought to you by Land Management of Mississippi, man. Give my buddy Michael Laster a call over there at Land Management if you need forestry mulching, land maintenance, bush hogging, land cleaning, and more. I'm telling you, they will, whether you got a large lot of acreage, or just need your lot cleaned to build a house on, whatever it may be. Give Land Management of Mississippi a call today, 601-953-4218. One more time, 601-953-4218, or check them out on Facebook at Land Management of MS. All right, I'm joined here in the studio by my new good friend, Anson Walker.
Absolutely. We're going to be good friends.
We're going to be good friends. And Anson is, like I said, personal trainer, life coach, head training coordinator out there at Starke Fitness in Gluckstadt. And he's got can we tell people about your book?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Free to Be Me.
Yeah.
Coming out mid-February. I would think the latest will be March 1st, but the last chapter will be written this Thursday. And put a lot of work, a lot of time. My author's David Jarr. He's a ghostwriter. He's out of Pasadena, California, but this guy's incredible, and I love the way he transformed my story from my mouth to paper. And it's just about complete, and we're steadily editing and adding stuff, but we're close.
It's nice when you get people what I've learned doing talk radio and doing this type of stuff is I have a whole new respect for people who can articulate things properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of get the thought out of my head into words that make sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not so good at that. So.
Yeah, so I definitely understand the point of having a ghostwriter or a writer or however you want to look at that, and that goes a long way. And I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that book, man, because I've been reading. I've read more in the last year than I have in my life.
Yeah, reading. I tell people all the time, reading is going to make you smarter. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better father. It's going to make you a better leader. It's going to make you a better Christian. I believe that, and then I'll get the rebuttal. Well, I don't like to read. Okay, well, you like to be stupid. Okay, I mean, seriously, because that's what you're telling me. So nobody likes to maybe do something I don't like to, but if you do it, the result is incredible. And I think you can even check with my fiance. I've probably grown more over the last 2 years than I have in my life because of reading.
Can we take a second, man, and say congratulations to you and Tiffany on y'all's engagement?
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. She's special. People tell me all the time, Clay, well, God was molding the right woman for you. God was working on me, okay? God was working on my punk self so that I could marry somebody like Tiffany.
I'm 43. No, 44.
Yeah.
I've lost count. But December 14th was my second wedding anniversary, and it's my first marriage. I waited till I was 41, 42.
Wow.
To get married.
I've never been married.
Same thing, man. I had to wait. I had to get me right.
Yeah.
I had to get me right, and God had to send the right one in that could put up with me.
That's right.
You know,
exactly right.
Patience is key.
It is, and dude, it took me a while for whatever reason to grow up and quit being selfish. You know, I was the most selfish guy I know, and it's embarrassing. My brother, we were raised the same way. My brother's not like that, you know, and so it just took me longer to grow. But I'd like to think I'm on the right path right now. I really would.
Yeah. Well, do you think there's a fine line between a good selfish and a bad selfish?
I do.
You got to be selfish to an extent to be successful.
I do, and I'll explain it like this: a bad selfish is, you know, it's me. You're, chasing this girl, chasing this buzz, or whatever. That's selfish. You know, self gratification, real quick, at somebody else's expense. My good selfish now is taking care of my mental health, taking care of my physical health, and the better Anson Walker is mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually, the more I can help people, especially the people I love. That's a good selfish.
Yep. All right, so one of the things we talked about yesterday was habits, accountability, winning, and discipline. And I think those are those are the key. Those are your anchors right there. You know, and I was telling you, I kind of been trying to work on my core four, which is power, passion, purpose, production.
I love that.
And it all goes back to the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Clay, discipline leads to freedom, okay? Making good choices even when it's hard. Motivate more good make more good choices. It's about taking and maintaining control over the two things that you can control. You control this 100% of the time, your attitude and your effort, no matter what. I don't have a secret formula. What I offer is a way of life, a fresh approach, a realistic perspective based on my experiences learning about the value of life itself. I've learned the hard way that life is a privilege, and our body, mind, soul, they're gifts, but health is our responsibility. And what I do is I try to be 100% transparent, 100% true to who I am, and I try to be 100% holistic. I don't believe in excessive prescription drugs. I see this all the time. The average Mississippian is on 4.5 prescription drugs per month. Y'all, that's not right. That's not. And I think that's a huge problem. And I'm 47 years old. I've had 11 major surgeries on my shoulders, my knees, my back, and I'm stronger than I've ever been in my life. And I'll go back to what we said a while ago. Taking care of your health is not selfish. It's selfless. That's an Ansonism.
I like it. You know, the prescription drugs and the opioid crisis. And you know, take the opioid stuff out of it. I'm seeing more now that I've gotten older and you start analyzing things a little bit better, a little 30,000-foot view of things. Yeah. Is just how many people are on psychotropic, you know, antidepressants. Maybe am I saying that right? Psychotropic,
whatever. I know what you're talking about.
Antidepressants and stuff of that nature, and how they may be blocking out this depression, but they're creating another.
Well, and you know this, every prescription drug usually has 4 to 5 side effects. Hello,
and they never come with the sunshine and puppy like the commercial tells you.
Right. And then it's funny, every prescription drug commercial. Have you noticed the last 10 or 15 seconds you can't hear what they're saying because that's all the side effects, and it's every commercial. And it's just, y'all, I can tell you this: the best drug you can get is working out daily because there's 0 side effects. You will increase your energy, you will increase your stamina, you will increase your sex drive, you will decrease your anxiety, you will decrease your depression, you will decrease your blood pressure, and the list goes on and on and on. And I've been doing this for a long time, Clay. There's no side effects to working out, dude. There just didn't.
No, I mean you can push yourself too hard, but you know what? When I tore my shoulder up, Anson, I refused to accept that I tore it up.
Right.
And I refused to go to the doctor. No, I'm gonna work through it.
Right.
I'm gonna work through it. I worked through it for 6 months and really tore it on up.
Yeah.
Basically tore my rotator cuff off my butt, you know, where they connected your bicep there. And, But that was in some weird way, I was like, I got my battle scar.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like
That's a good one.
I was depressed because it took me out, and I haven't been back right since because I let it take me out.
Yeah.
But I still never got depressed about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you're right, man. You can work through that, and that gym is a healthy addiction. I love following people on Instagram and stuff that are in the gym all the time, and these people out there, these negative, fat, depressed a-holes that like to talk crap about people checking in at the gym and stuff like that. Oh, you must not worked out today. I didn't see you post about it on the gym. How about you get your butt up and go to the gym?
Yeah, agreed. And there's a lot of haters, Clay. You know that. And it's what I've learned is this: if you don't have a few haters, you're probably not doing it right. No. You know, that's what I figured out. And dude, it's comical to me. I did a video it's about a year ago, and it was on Starke. It was entered with some clients, and dude, we had some good music, and dude, I can't tell you how many. I probably had 100 to 120 individual Facebook messages on. That's an awesome video. Mm-hmm. But I had in my office, I have a gun I always keep, which I've got one in my briefcase right here. I've got a license to carry it, and dude. I had it right there. I said, "Hopefully, we'll never need to use that."
Well, welcome to WYAB. We're all this is a Second Amendment outpost out here, brother. The First and Second Amendment.
Well, dude, and so anyway, somebody who doesn't like Anson Walker, which is cool. I'm not everybody's flavor. I get it. They called Madison County Sheriff. Yeah, well, they called Madison County Sheriff's Department and said, "I feel threatened by that video," and I had to take that video down. I swear, and I was just like. Okay, I'm doing something right because somebody got pissed off. And
I'm surprised Facebook didn't take it down when their AI saw it.
Yeah, it was there. It was on Facebook and Instagram forever, like 30 days, and then that was when I got the call. So anyway,
as life goes,
it is.
All right, let's stay positive here, man. Mm-hmm. I tell you what, rarely do I see something online that chokes me up.
Okay,
like I see something which is completely anonymous, out there. It's like, oh, that's weird, and you see the story, and you're like. Man, that dude is mopping the floor with other people's excuses.
Right.
J.D. Mathis.
Yeah.
Can we talk about J.D.?
Absolutely. And I forgot to tell them I was on here this morning. But
the podcast will be available after this. You can send it to them.
Yeah, I want you to send that to me.
Yeah.
But, so J.D. Mathis, I went to school with his son-in-law, Charles Gowdy. He's from Canton. He's a little bit older than me, but Charles always took care of me.
Charles in the car business?
Yes. Yeah, that's him, Gowdy Autoplex.
Yeah, I know Charles.
Yep, and I just bought my latest car from him. But Charles is a great guy. I'll never, when somebody's 2 or 3 years older than you and they put their arm around you when you're 6th grade, 7th grade, you never forget that.
No,
that's a big deal. And
I try to remember that now.
Oh yeah. Well, I was cool because of Charles. Charles took care of me in junior high and high school. I'll never forget that. So, fast forward 20-something years, he goes, Anson, my father-in-law had a car wreck. He's been paralyzed. They kicked him out of Methodist rehab there because insurance ran out, which I get. He said, "Do you think you can do anything?" I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Let me meet and see." And man, he comes in a wheelchair. His wife Roseanne, who is a princess of a lady. Oh my gosh, I love them. And we're talking, and I said, "Okay." I said, "This is good. This is new to me. This is out of my wheelhouse." And I said, "Can you get on a walker?" And he goes, "Well, I can try." I said, "All right, I want you to come on a walker. I don't want that wheelchair in this gym ever again." And dude, that man, everything I told him, you can watch him absorbing with his mind what I've done. And the work that he did, I don't want to distract from him. He did the work. I just kind of like the horse blinders, pointed him in the right way. His wife would do the work beside us. And dude, we're just a team. And so finally, about a year, and the doctor said, "Man, no offense, but you're never going to walk again." So we're in the upstairs studio. This is about a year and a half ago. So we're about a year into this. And I said, "All right, man, today's the day. We're going to walk." And Roseanne's over there with her phone, and JD, and I've got a belt on him so I can grab him if I need to.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got my hands around him, but I'm not touching him. And he walks 30 feet this way, turns around, comes back 30 feet by himself.
That's amazing.
She's crying. I'm crying. He's crying.
I was crying.
Bro,
I saw the video. I ain't lying.
It's just you're witnessing a miracle. That's what it was.
Well, you're witnessing a miracle, and you're witnessing somebody who refused to accept what he was told his fate would be.
That's exactly right. Now they become incredible friends, and JD, he motivates me. Roseanne motivates me. Like, no offense, but 3:15 this morning, I did not want to get up, Clay. Guess what? I hit the floor. I say a cuss word, turn my alarm off, said, "You know what? JD would kill to be able to walk straight to that shower right now. Anson, stop. Enough's enough. Get in the shower, make breakfast, go to the gym." And that's JD motivated me this morning.
Ain't it funny how people will say you motivated them, but their story
absolutely
will motivate. You'll get as much out of it as they will. It may not be physically, it may be mentally, maybe just getting over a hurdle, like getting out of bed or whatever the case may be. You told me you get up at 300
3:15 03:15 every morning.
Every morning.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this morning I was like, well, I went to bed about an hour early last night, so I'm gonna set my alarm clock for 4:30, so I can at least be like Jocko.
Yeah, that's right.
And man, 4:30 came around, and I got up. I used the bathroom. I said, I don't need no coffee this morning. I went and got back in bed for another hour.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
I get it.
I even took the screenshot at 4:30. But I was like, no, I'm not going to post that because I ain't getting up. Hey, look, we're going to take a break real quick, man, and we'll be right back here on 103.9 WYAB. All right, welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by My good friends over at D. Noblin Furniture. Look, man, I'll tell you, I don't just like reading ads. I like to tell you stories, and I'm telling you, these are good folks out there. Locally owned, locally operated. Y'all know that's every sponsor I have here, locally owned, locally operated. Just like WYAB, just like Clay Edwards, just like Anson Walker over here. We're locally owned, we're locally operated. So look, right out there at D. Noblin's on Airport Road in Pearl, there's red tags on every incredible piece of beautiful furniture at D. Noblin. Red tag savings will save you up to from $50 to $500 off their low sale price. At D. Noblin's, you'll find leather sofas, dining, bedroom, sofas that recline, sectionals, and over 700 Lazy Boy recliners in stock right there, ready to take home today. Every quality furniture piece has a red tag, saving you an extra $50 to $500. D. Noblin's even has free financing. Say that out loud again. Free financing right now. That's amazing. When it comes to quality home furnishings, come to D. Noblin's and come home to comfort. Airport Road in Pearl. The Gray family out there, amazing people. I do business with them on some other stuff, and I'm just going to tell you, good, rock-solid individuals. Customer service comes first out there, and you will not be disappointed. All right, I am joined in studio by Anson Walker. If you're just tuning in, Anson is to call him a personal trainer is probably selling him a bit short because he's so much more than that, and that's no knock on personal trainers. But Anson's a life coach, and I used to kind of chuckle at stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
But then I started listening to Anson Walker on another radio show here in town. He does a Jake Wimberly show, and I started listening and I tuning in, and I'll be honest with you, Anson. The first time I heard you, I was like, "Who does this guy think he is?" talking to me like that on the other end of the radio. Right. He don't know how much I love Twinkies. Yeah, you know, how dare he? Yeah. And I kid, but I started listening more and more, and it became a real highlight. Getting to listen, and I think we end up becoming friends on Facebook and following
that's right.
you, and
absolutely,
and all that stuff.
I've been cheering for you from day one. So
I appreciate it. Look, I reached out to Anson back over the summer, I think it was. I was like, "Hey man, I don't know if you know who I am," and you're like, "As a matter of fact, I do." I was like, "This guy's about to bite my head off." He's like, "You're the guy that gets out there and tells it how you think it, and stands by what you believe." Exactly. Man, I got chills. I'm like, I like this guy. Yeah. I like this guy. All right, look, Anson. One of the things that we talked about, or you said you wanted to speak on, was pretenders versus contenders.
Yeah.
Mike's yours.
It's important, man. So I view life as basically like this. There's basically two kinds of people in my world. And I try to make things simple. So I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. It's just the way I see it. And you can either be a pretender, which is one who's never in a position to win, and they've got an excuse for everything. Or you can be a contender, always in a position to win, even if they don't always win. But in the end, they're always failing forward. They're learning, they're applying, they're winning. Y'all, characteristics of pretenders are fear, impatience, denial, impulsiveness, deceit, jealousy, anger, insecurity. Characteristics of contenders are faith, belief, spirituality. Family and close friends are priority. Career, servant, leadership. Embrace your background. Lifelong learner, mental health, wellness, emotional strength, strong physical health, a presence with an aura and a natural glow. They're selfless. Their character is much larger than their ego. Which one are you? Are you a contender or are you a pretender? In the game we play daily called life, you're referred to as a pretender or a contender. In the 17-plus years that I've been doing this health and fitness nutrition stuff, I interpret it the way I see it. I try to use my God-given abilities to process the information available to me. Every week I run across pretenders. However, the true contenders are a little harder to come by, and there are several reasons for that. Every one of us has the potential to be a contender, to reach our designed level of full effectiveness. I believe we have to get out of our comfort zones daily to do this. Folks, when you realize life is not all about you, but it's about the people in it, you start to transcend as a person, as a leader, as a servant, as a transformational leader. Servant leadership status is one of the highest honors and statuses you can acquire in this world that we live in today. It's a whole new level of euphoria, and that's what I call a legitimate contender. You see, the pretenders differ on how they're going to influence. Pretenders seek to use their power or status to gain what they want. They try to impress, intimidate, or simply manipulate or overpower others. Pretenders look for the easy way out or the excuse. Same thing. I see it all the time. They don't understand humility, accountability, or responsibility. Always, 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 it's an excuse or someone else's fault. In contrast, contenders seek to love people to gain influence. Contenders see leadership as a platform for loving people, not for getting their own way. Contenders make the transition from selfless leadership to servant leadership. Are y'all following me? These characteristics and examples apply to every one of us daily. We are all on the same team, figuratively, and the doing the right thing team, literally. And I'll stop right there.
No, look, I'm gonna tell you the difference for me, and I'll speak personally about being a contender and being a pretender. I went through years and years of being lost after I got out of the nightclub business in, would have been August of 10.
Right.
I kind of twiddled my thumbs and was broke and even caught myself in a food line at one point. Between then and figuring out that I had to be a contender.
Right.
You know, and I got into the car business January 4th, 2011. Great Daniels Ford right out there in Brandon.
Right.
Very humbling to have to go start from scratch. And it took me a few years of being lost, and finally, you know, you get tired of making excuses and the fake it till you make it crowd.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pretenders, fake it till you make it.
I hate that saying too.
I do too. You know, how about just be humble?
Yeah.
And you know,
or work your rear end off till you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would much rather follow a journey of struggle and overcoming adversity and all that than thinking than you going from wearing fake diamonds to real diamonds.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I want to see the struggles because I want to invest into you emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, I know, and somewhere along the lines, there was no pivot point that I can point to exactly.
Same here.
Where I said, you know what, I'm just gonna be me, and I'm gonna wear it all out there. I'm gonna put everything out there.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be able to throw anything back in my face because it's a good chance I've already said it. Maybe that the Eminem movie 8 Mile. I think where he gets on at the end and he says, I'm white trash. Yeah, I lived in a trailer. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, you got my girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to take all your power away so you can't say anything about me.
Yep.
And that didn't happen when I saw the movie, but just later on in life.
Right.
When that finally happened,
Yep.
I was able to reference back to that movie and just remember, I said, that was it. That's what they were talking about there.
Yeah.
But you just become real, man. Be honest with yourself, look in that mirror and say, hey, I got to make some changes, bro.
Absolutely.
You know, I got to be responsible to my family, to myself,
Yeah.
to my God, and to everybody that depends on me. You know, I sent you a picture yesterday, and I've been very public about this on here. I like beer.
Yep.
You know, I don't make any qualms about it. Don't consider myself an alcoholic by no stretch, but hey, do most people consider themselves an alcoholic?
I like beer, Clay.
Yeah. And I said, man, and I told every January I quit drinking. Not to quit drinking forever, but I just like to say, how long can I go? You know, just out of curiosity.
Right.
At least let's get through January, kind of dry out a little bit, give my body a reset button after the holidays and everything. Yep. And I took a picture yesterday, just a quick selfie, for whatever reason. And I noticed that I had one on my phone where I took with the flag behind me here. I said, man, let me look at this. And from 7 days ago to today, I saw the bags out from under my eyes.
Yep.
I saw the puffiness and the swelling and the bloatedness out of my face. I was like, man, that's just 7 days right there.
Yep.
Imagine 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, 35 days, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Et cetera. But that just takes being honest with yourself.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
And looking in that mirror and just saying, I'm not going to be that no more.
Yeah, I call it come to Jesus meetings with myself. Yeah. I've had a lot of them. But, dude, when I was an investment broker, I wanted the money that they all had without all the work. Okay? I wanted a quick fix. And I think that's the problem with society now, Instagram. We live in an instant gratification society. I mean, it blows my mind that I can push a button right here and the groceries are at my house in 30 minutes. I can't even comprehend that because I don't do that. But anyway, that's how lazy.
I still like going. I shop with my eyes.
Me too.
I have learned to eat before I go.
Well, that's how lazy we are, Clay.
Yeah.
And it just, but dude, once like what you said, it wasn't any aha moment in my life, but it was years and years of making better decisions that led to better habits to got me to where, y'all, at least I sleep pretty freaking good every night because I like what I'm doing with my life and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. You know, it was the aha moments. I had a bunch of aha moments. You know, and there was my pastor said something one day about aha moments, and it's just, you're just chipping away at it, man.
Yeah.
Just chip away, and you're like, my way ain't working no more.
That's right.
That's what Terry found out at Hickory Ridge Baptist said. I mean, my way ain't working no more. Let me try it his way. And
that's removing your ego.
Yeah.
You know, that's becoming humble. And, dude, I say and I use all the time is humility before honor. And, dude, it's so true. And if you can just put your ego to the side, y'all, listen, I can't tell you how many times especially the last 3 to 4 to 5 years, how much more I listen than I used to, and how much more I don't talk, because everybody wants to talk because they want everybody to know how smart they are. They want everybody to know their opinion. Dude, have you ever just shut up and just listen? I think one cool thing I've learned from my boot camp girls, I've had them for 4 years now, and they're married, kids, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes when a girl asks you something, they just want you to listen. They don't want the solution. And body language, you can watch, you can tell. And I found myself now listening to my fiance at a much higher level than I did 2 years ago when we first started dating. And that's because of my clients. They're teaching me stuff. So
it is. Listening is hard, because especially listening to somebody like yourself, it gets me fired up. So I want to interject my experience, But I have to bite my tongue because I got to let you finish talking.
Yeah.
But and let you finish your train of thought. But it is, man. It's hard to listen.
It is.
And that's something I've tried to work on. And I know I've gotten better. And my wife's listening right now. She's like, "No, you haven't." She's a sugar. She's like, "No, you haven't."
Yeah.
No, you haven't. But I have. I do listen. At least I hear it anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can revisit the thought when I get out of the room.
And we're still Geico cavemen to an extent. I mean, I'm old school, dude. My dad raised me and my brother. Well, I was raised by a wolf, dude. I mean, we didn't have, unfortunately, parents got divorced. We didn't have a woman in the household for 8-10 years. So I didn't get some of that stuff that I should have got. And I tell Tiffany all the time, look, I don't get hints. So you got to tell me. Okay, you got to like point in my chest and say, "Anson, bam, bam, thank you, man." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." Got
it. Not a gypsy mind reader.
No, I'm not. Far from it.
We're going to take a break real quick. We're going to come back and land this plane with Anson Walker. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 WYA. All right, welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here in the Generator Power Solutions studio. Man, in this last segment, real quick, we got about 2 minutes left, is brought to you by the Sims Agency. Check out bjsimsagency.com. You'll get 5 quotes back from up to 34 different insurance companies within about a minute. That's bjsimsagency.com. You can also call them at 601-210-1044. Locally owned, locally operated. I'm going to give my guest, Anson Walker, the last word. Anson?
I want to just close everybody out with a couple things. I'm going to give you my information after this. But I came across this quote the other day, and it's pretty powerful to me. If serving is below you, leadership is beyond you. All right, think about that. If serving is below you, leadership is beyond you. The greatest servant leader of all time, in my opinion, is Jesus Christ. It's not even close. And when I finally figured out that my job on earth is to serve others, to help others when I can, that's when my life started turning around. When I became accountable and responsible for everything in my life, that's when Anson Walker's, my life and my way of life and my quality of life started going to the heavens. That's a God thing. That's an accountability thing. That's owning it. Even good, bad, ugly, you've got to own your decisions. Y'all, you got one mind, you got one body. You're responsible. The government's not responsible. Governor Tate Reeves is not responsible. President Biden is not responsible for your health. You are. Quit blaming that crap on anybody else. Take ownership of your health, your mental health, your physical health. Y'all, I'm Anson Walker. I'm a country boy from Canton, Mississippi. I'm not retarded because I got several beyond educations, okay? I got several degrees. I can help you. I can help you change your mind. I can help you change your body. My cell phone is 601-927-3208, 601-927-3208. I'm on Facebook. I'm the only Anson Walker I know on Facebook. Get a hold of me.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty good,
man.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.